Stealthing, stealing, ambushing, all those things can seem very straightforward, but in this video today I'm going to break down how they actually work so you can navigate around the world and take advantage of either stealing things, setting up ambushes if you're playing a Gloomstalker, or just kind of stealthing your way through stuff. Now, this is your first time on my channel. The way I do things here is by upfronting the knowledge of my video so that you can go ahead about your life if you so wish. So, with that being said, it's kind of hard to paraphrase this whole entire system, but essentially how stealthing works on a top level is you hold down shift to see where everything's view is, and you are either not obscured when you see that little sun right there, that little, my cursor, it's a full sun, or you are lightly obscured like this. If you're lightly obscured, then they have to make a check to see you. You have to do you have to make a hiding check, and if you pass it, they can't see you. Really, the trick to this, what I'm really going to kind of hinge upon this entire video, is using this turn-based mode. Once you've turned on turn-based mode, you can do pretty much everything, and you can navigate away from people's sight or anything that would maybe break this hide or this invis. You can go about stealing, you can go and set up ambushes, whatever it is. That's really the gist of what we'll be talking about, and if that's all you want to know, get back to making your stealthy murder character that I know you've been daydreaming about. You can jump ahead to any part of this video that interests you the most using the chapters about the timeline and the description. And please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe if you are heading out. Each one of those things does help me out in a huge way, and I've got 89% unsubscribed viewer base on the channel, and I'm trying to change that metric here before the year's end. Let's get started here on how to stealth, steal, and ambush in Baldur's Gate 3. The first thing to talk about is stealthing and being obscured, because that's a big part of it. It's kind of like the underlying feature behind all of this. So just to kind of recap what we were talking about in the intro, if I hold down shift, we can see what everyone's view or vision is and where I am either obscured or not obscured. Now, for all intents and purposes, unless you use something like fog or darkness, it's very difficult to become heavily obscured on your own. But if I go ahead and press C, go into stealth, I am now considered obscured. So even though this says lightly obscured, it is considered obscured for any items, any kind of rules that will say you must be obscured. This is it. Hiding in a lightly obscured area has to make a stealth check when caught. So this is going to hit me. I made a stealth check and I am fine. But there we go. I failed the stealth check. So basically, what you're going to do here is you're going to constantly be making these stealth checks anytime you are not obscured and you're stealthing around, right? If I go like this and right now I'm not obscured, so clear area. Hiding in an unobscured area will be caught on sight. So if I just kind of wait here, take a step right there, trying to stay in the a second that I've seen, I go ahead and I stand back up and I'm out of stealth. Now, if I go here and I shut these lights off and turn these braziers off, and I go ahead and go to the stealth, this character is going to come back around, and I'm lightly obscured, right? And we'll see that the character will have to make a hide check, right? I'll have to do a little sneak roll and see if I pass. So this is why using turn-based mode is absolutely crucial. We'll get into that in a little second here, but I want to kind of show this portion off. There we go. High successful. And I kind of have to constantly make these checks. So it's, there we go. So we're good to go. We're fine. High to successful. We've got another person coming, right? We're lightly obscured, so they have to make a stealth check. Unless they get within, I think it's like 5 or 10 feet of me, then they just, yeah, okay, they were too close, I think, and it just blew it, or I failed it. But either way, if you fail it, you'll just stand back up. If this is a hostile creature, this will clearly start an engagement. But this is why manipulating, if you're trying to do some stealing or something like that, turning off all this light now creates all this lightly obscured area for you to take advantage of. That's going to be the big thing for you, is being able to kind of take advantage of this. You think, okay, I'm right here. Got caught. And you can use any kind of means like, okay, going invis, or using any of the Gloomstalker abilities or Shadow Monk abilities, all the many abilities that give you stealth and stuff like that. Many items will talk about being obscured, so it's really just that's what it's talking about, being lightly obscured. Heavy obscured is going to be usually from a magical source more often than not. But now that we've done that, let's talk more about how to navigate all this. Next up, let's talk about stealing. Now, stealing is a pretty straightforward system. You simply steal things, right? But there's ways that you can kind of approach this and game this to the best of your ability. The big thing is, if you are in kind of like a nice dark area like this, you'll want to shut off any kind of light sources you can to maximize your obfuscation, whatever the hell. Make sure you're obscured, right? So we can go ahead and press C right now, and we're relatively good, right? She might hear me and turn around, or she might just say like, oh, you're too close. I'm going to break your stealth. Hey, hi, how are you? So there's a lot of things that can go wrong here, because when it comes to stealing, it's not just simply about the item. So if I hold down I can see all my items here that you're trying to steal. It's the weight of the item. So heavier items actually make a little bit more sound when you steal them. So if I want to go steal that leather armor, those simple boots, it'll make more sound than the scroll of Revivify, and they might just turn around on you. See it. But there's a way you can game this system. One of the easiest things is to enter turn-based mode. But there's another thing we're going to do here, some tomfoolery with Shadowheart. The old bait and switch like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. So we're going to go ahead and press C to jump into stealth. He's going to go ahead and mosey on over there. We're going to go click Shadowheart. And we're going to go start a conversation. And we're going to start a conversation so that NPC's back is to the items I'm going to steal. We click character select down here and go back to our character and press enter turn-based mode. Now we really kind of have as much time as we need, and I'm going to go into this more when I talk about assassinating. I don't know why I selected it like that, but I did. Yoink. Walk over here. And turn-based mode. Now, what you need to really be mindful of is that is a stolen item. So if I hang out here for a long enough time, it might even happen in the contents of this video, she'll discover that and go, yo, did you steal something? Because the item's stolen, I'm still in the near vicinity, and it'll kind of all come together. Let's go ahead and push through this conversation. I'll walk away. She might still say like, oh, thief. But let's just leave the area now. We'll just kind of skedoodle. As soon as her sight falls on that location, she'll be like, something's amiss. So that's kind of how easy and straightforward stealing is. It doesn't need to be this over-the-top situation. Using turn-based mode and stuff like that in conjunction can allow you to do things without even having to talk to the NPC. But we did that and we're good to go, right? We've stolen the item, we're set, it's in our inventory. Well, if I just joins the stack of our existing items, right? So use this to get you some items that you are like, oh, I kind of want this, I want to sell that, whatever it is. And you're already playing a stealthy type of character, right? You got that hiding capability. Go ahead and snake those things. It just can be a little cumbersome because the system isn't 100% exact on how it really works. So making sure you're entering into turn-based mode or using an NPC to distract is what enables you to get this off without having to constantly reload. But there you go. That's how hiding works. And again, lastly too, like I said, don't stay in the area, steal it and walk away. And if I walk back over there right now, you probably won't say something. I might have to zone out, but either way, if you stay there after you've stolen something and try to sell it right back to them, they'll be like, oh, that's stolen. Yeah, so I'm good right now, right? She's clearly walked past this position. She hasn't noticed it, but had I stayed there, she would have been like, thief, and confronted me. So make sure you move away, then come back before you want to do any kind of selling or fencing of your stolen goods. Now that we've talked about stealthing and stealing and all sorts of things, let's put this together to talk about how you would trigger an ambush or surprising your target. And we're using these two guys over here who actually, it's not going to mind. I'm saying they're not hostile, so this is going to be easy for me to set up. But the big thing we're going to use is enter turn-based mode. On a PC, shift enter or press this button, and this pretty much locks everything in place. And then enables me to have some fun. And I can use this right now. I can enter into stealth, and that's going to cost me an action. This basically jumps into things as if it were combat, but I don't have to worry about some stuff. So like, okay, let's go ahead and press hide. I'll end my turn, and end turn, and end turn, and end turn. And then the environment takes its turn. They would go on any kind of patrol routes if they're on their patrol routes up to 30 feet, doing their things that they would normally do. And it just allows me to come back in here, right? I've got my action back. I'm hidden. I can do whatever I want. So in this scenario, I would use a sneak attack on this character and do a ton of damage, probably kill them outright. But we're not going to do that here because I'll kill the character outright. It ruins the whole point of this. So if you're playing an assassin will have a feature as part of their subclass that when you initiate an ambush or surprise anyone, it's going to bring you all of your actions and your bonus actions back online. So that's kind of a really cool way to open up with a fun alpha strike that you can then do a lot of fun things with. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and use this bonus action, which still might actually kill this character, but we'll find out. Okay, it didn't. And you can see that we started these attacks, but look, they are all surprised. If we click on their little thing, it says right below it, surprised, surprised, surprised. So they actually are not going to take a turn. I can move my characters into this engagement, but everyone's part of the fray.
I won't give in.
I'm going to have to jump them up there to get actually into this, but I can have them from here to start jumping into this as is, have them jump in and do some damage, whatever it is. But I have the ability now to do whatever I want. I can say, okay, well, you know what? This person's just about dead. Let's go ahead and finish them off there. And let's do this right here. So we just killed 2 enemies. And we still actually have a whole round of combat that we could do stuff with. I could have my other characters jump into this, do whatever it is. These 2 over here saw this, so they're going to be a part of this whole shenanigans. But whatever it is, that's how setting up an ambush and surprise works, because it's probably one of the things that you've wondered how to get going in your game, but you just haven't been able to really kind of get it off the ground. And I think that the game doesn't really do the best job of showing how to set this up. And it's very powerful if you're playing any kind of stealth class. The Gloomstalker Ranger, just a rogue, an assassin in any way, shape, or form. Using this turn-based mode enables you to really set up these strong alpha strikes by doing these ambushes, doing these attacks, triggering the surprise, and getting a lot of fun action from it. I don't think I can actually do this. Yeah, surprise also cannot take actions or reactions. So it's just you don't get an advantage on them because they're surprised or anything like that. They just can't do anything for one whole turn while you go to town. And like I said too, we could go, oh, all right, let's go ahead and do that. And now she's in the fray, and we all get to take our turn together. Everyone doing whatever they want before the rest of these characters come online. This is okay. You know what? We're right here. Let's go ahead and. Can you not do anything? What's wrong with you? Oh, it's not her turn. That's why. I'm over here jumping ahead. But so we'll end turn, and we jumps over here. They're surprised. I can't do anything. We'll end her turn. We'll have you just. Can't get this one. Oh, of course I have heavy armor on like an idiot. I'll just do this. There we go. So, again, just to kind of show off what you'll be able to do once you initiate these surprises. Your team not being with you, don't worry about that. You just rush them in because the rest of these are now locked in their focus and their attention, so they won't get attacked like prematurely, like over here. Like, oh, well, they're in range now. Now they're getting attacked by these characters who weren't surprised by them. No, they're already considered surprised. They're already locked for that whole entire turn. You bring your other characters in, and they all jump into the fray, and you get to kind of wombo combo off of everything that you can. So this is a pretty short video here on stealthing and sneaking and all that fun action. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of how to approach it in the game. It's not one of those systems that's very well explained, but I think that once you understand how effective and strong it is, you can get a ton of use out of it. And it also allows you to just kind of jump into a little bit of the stealing mini game and trying to get a little bit more money as you navigate through maybe any of the vendors that you intend on removing from the game through your decisions, right? Like if I say I side with the Goblin Camp, then I'm going to remove all the people over at the Emerald Grove. This allows me to then kind of steal what's left of the Emerald Grove, but you can maybe do some stuff before that, or vice versa. If you're say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go side with the Emerald Grove, I'll go steal things from the Goblin Camp before I go ahead and do that. Whatever the situation is, make sure you use this to your best of your ability. Now, when you jump into the Act 3, when you're actually in a city, this is going to be a little bit hairier to deal with because you're in a city. It's going to have a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving people. So you're definitely going to want to use that turn-based mode for stealing and for these ambushes. Again, hopefully this helps you out in your stealthy playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3. If there's any other tips that you want to give, go ahead and let it be known in the comment section below. I didn't really go into stuff like using invisibility potions, any of the items that help you out with when you are obscured, any items that just simply grant you invisibility, all these things. I just wanted to go through purely hiding, navigating that hiding, and kind of being discovered and all that kind of fun stuff there, because it's a system that I think is a little too, is not as dense, but does need some explaining. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.